professional.
They can
Oh!
hear you.
Oh my god. Wait, can they hear us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, I just want to point out the last time I was here, I didn't have this, so this is going to be quite fun to play with.
They can hear you better finally.
Oh my god.
That's the last thing people needed.
What?
You can't bully him. He's.
I'm a guest. I'm a guest. Y'all have to be nice to me.
Oh boy.
We finally sent Surya the location to the podcast warehouse.
When they said warehouse, I was actually
Make
like,
it
blown
louder.
away.
We are loud. Wait. What?
It's just Jake complaining.
Oh,
It's fine.
okay.
Can they not hear me?
No, they can hear us. We're using these mics. These
Good,
are
good.
perfect.
Good.
All right, Surya, what have you been up to?
Are we going to talk about my week or the past year or everything in between?
Where do you want
How
to
about we
stay?
just start about the week?
Yeah, yeah, that's also been very nice. Can't complain too much, I'm very happy to be back. A lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Wait, what are we talking? There is a lot to
There
talk
is
about
a
at the
lot
park.
to talk about. And, hello? Speak.
For what? You didn't even tell me to speak anything.
know.
How was your week?
My week was okay. Okay.
Oh, the double mics.
Okay.
Wait.
I lost privilege.
My week was fine. I didn't do very much at all.
At all?
I didn't work. I actually haven't done much at all this week. That was my week. What about you, Brendan? How was your week?
I worked. I flew the drone. And I accessed things that I shouldn't access. Yeah, no, it was good. There's gonna be a lot of drone flying over the next 2 weeks.
Come on, Brendan.
I'm trying to. You've missed out on so much. I feel like.
I have missed out on so much.
There's the mic.
Wait, can I hold it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's what you were doing. I have missed out on so much, and I'm kind of in the loop. I'm kind of out of the loop. I think the last week, I've definitely been out of the loop. Got back from Carowinds.
How was
on the
that?
week. It was a lot of fun. The new fast lane system. Yeah, that.
Wait, what's the new fast lane system?
Why doesn't Surya explain?
Okay, well, it's so cool. So it's literally, and Wonderland did this before, I think in 2015 with like a barcode gun. But when you get your wristband, it's going to be the exact same. However, it is going to have a QR code on it, and the QR code is going to be like on that sticky part. So if you tamper with it in any way, then you have to go to guest services and explain whatever happened. But basically, it's going to be like a little self-scan kiosk, it's literally just going to be a scanner with a screen, and you're going to scan the barcode. And if it permits you, so if it's a valid barcode on the valid date, it's going to light up green, you can go. However, if it's not, if it's been tampered with in any way, or if it can't scan, or if it's like from a different day for whatever reason, then it's going to light up red and you have to go to guest services immediately. So I think it's going to alleviate a lot of issues in the fast lane line. So you know what, if you don't have a 2024 fast lane, it might be time to consider getting it, because they're definitely cracking down on it, and I think it's definitely a good thing. And you know what, it should streamline the process a lot easier, in my opinion.
I'm excited. I love tech. Every time a park upgrades their tech, I love it.
You're acting like it's not going to take everything so much longer now.
Okay, but here's the thing. It will maybe take longer, like maybe 5 seconds to scan per wristband at most. But again, I'm not saying anything. However,
I mean, we had to do this sometimes too on some days.
Yeah, but that's still different than like, we got to find the barcode and then it doesn't scan and then...
But this is a lot more like, every now and then you'd have that person who ties up the fast lane wristband and stuff. And then you have the person at group or greeter or whatever who goes and inspects it and then holds up the whole line. Well, with this system, because the QR code is right on that sticky part, if you rip it off or something, it's tamper proof essentially. So you're going to like mitigate that. And, again, I'm not saying that people do this or anything, but if someone for whatever reason tries to reuse other days fast lanes, it's obviously not going to work because it's coded to the date, right? So I'm saying like fast lane
take the
lines.
microphone away from you now.
Why? I think it's going to be a really cool system.
I agree. And we've seen them installing it. They've had this little one guy in a truck driving around and cutting like these lines in the pavement of all the fast lane rides. And I'm like, how's that going to turn into like I never understood how they do electrical work, because this guy's cutting the lines for the electrical wires. But how does he, like, each ride has an electrical availability conduit just available underground to connect to other things.
I mean, yeah, all they have to do is just find a line and tap into it.
That's crazy to me.
A lot of electrical going on in the mountain. Oh, who said that? Hello.
I'm trying to think if there was anything. So you had a good trip to Carowinds. So let's pretend like you don't know what you know today.
Okay.
Okay. What was your honest thoughts about what this ride was going to be before you saw what you saw today?
Like with the mountain?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was on the fence. I was still thinking B&M, but I was trying to go more towards an invert.
What, are you still team?
You know what the honest answer for Surya is he hasn't watched a single one of our videos.
No, Surya. Okay, so to
I'm still
describe,
here.
people think that Surya and I don't talk, but what happens is I'll fly the drone, and I call Surya usually the minute my drone lands, and we
true.
get into a phone call, and I send him pictures, and I'm like, "What do you think?"
Literally. It's like clockwork too. I can tell the time. I'm like, oh, Brendan's, oh yeah, he finished flying. It's, you know what though? Like if you think about it from like a month ago to now, it's definitely changed a lot and it's very confusing.
Yeah, it's gotten a little more confusing, but also a little more clear, but which makes it a little more confusing.
That was kind of confusing.
That whole sentence, yeah. So what model did you think before? Like honestly, like
Invert.
you thought invert.
Still invert.
Okay.
I thought, yeah.
My
B&M.
opinion changed now, though. You'll see.
Oh,
His opinion's so boring.
I thought.
Brendan is mad that my opinion's right.
Well, what's your opinion?
You'll
He
see
thinks
about
it's-
it.
he
Don't
thinks
worry,
it's
don't
like a
worry, don't
market.
worry, don't worry.
Okay.
Don't you
okay,
fucking worry.
Oh my god.
Don't you worry.
That wasn't me. I kind of always thought B&M until recently, until Winter Chill Out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So can you share what you heard at Winter Chill Out in a little more detail?
Yeah, so at Winter Chill Out, there wasn't like an official Q&A, but when we got to see Top Thrill 2's trains, they did like a 5-10 minute question and answer session, and they talked about the first ever test run of Top Thrill 2, which was back in December, I believe. And they were saying they specifically wanted to test it in the colder weather while there was precipitation in the air, so like snow. And Tony Clark said that they tested it on a day when it was 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. It's like maybe -5,
Negative
-6.
6.6.
Negative 6.6.
Okay,
very
Brendan.
so that's pretty cool. No, if you think about that, like you think about a B&M or any that's like WinterFest, you know? Like there were most days of WinterFest this year weren't even that cold. So they ran. No, it's true, right?
No, it was very warm
That's
this year,
not
yeah.
all the time, though. Yet, anyway. Yet, that's not all the time.
Anyway, so they ran it in 20 Fahrenheit, -6.6 degrees, and they said that it ran flawlessly between the trains performing flawlessly, the LSMs, linear synchronizing motors, performed flawlessly, the power supply performed flawlessly, and it was able to do complete cycles without any problem at all, which is pretty impressive if you think about it, especially where that specific ride came from to now, like running and performing in those type of weather conditions. Like that's harsh. And then you got the wind. They ran it in the snow and it was still able to do like its full cycle without a single fault. So
Isn't the main reason they can't run those because the hydraulic fluid?
No,
or the
so-
oil not freezes, but it becomes too thick when it gets cold.
Well, do they even use hydraulic
Does it have
fluid?
any oil?
no. It's so with the LSM, linear synchronizing motor, it's all electrical and magnets, so there's no moving parts.
Wow.
It's good to know.
So what's interesting is we have a guy in our Discord server, JD. He's amazing. He's back during the Yukon era. He disappeared after Yukon. He's back now, and he's been super helpful. He actually found an exact news video from Italy where they're interviewing Antonio, whatever his name is, Antonio Zamperla. And he talks about his first ride, and he did it in the snow. And he talks about it, and he said it was cold, but it was amazing. It worked flawlessly. So there's an interview that backs up exactly what you said about Winter Chill Out. So it is interesting because Cedar Point doesn't do WinterFest, nor would they be a park that could really do it.
It's unfortunate, but being on the peninsula, I think it would be too cold and like windy, especially. I don't think too many people would go. Like Cedar Point's odd, like target. Who they target, I don't think they would go and enjoy a WinterFest.
Mm-hmm. So you thought invert.
I think invert currently.
I've always been Zamperla for a while, but there's a reason I had this designed, by the way. And it looks like my wallpaper for the podcast is going to be useless.
Already.
So I'm going to have to order a new one.
Could we do like a King's Dominion episode?
What?
I just saw a message saying the second mic isn't working well, but... Hello? No, it's definitely working. I'm sure they didn't like the sound of that.
Oh? You maybe...
It's
Surya
probably-
does talk quieter.
I'm sorry. I'll start yelling.
So you maybe hold it a little closer,
If
yeah.
you're gonna talk quiet, hold it close.
I'll tell you.
Brendan yells.
I'll
Look
be
at
able
Brendan.
to monitor
Yells
your
over
voice
there.
down here on the
It
so
works well.
let's get to the current. You guys are about to get some Patreon. Okay.
The podcast hasn't even started yet.
Okay. So I'm going to give a little. Oh, there was one thing you wanted to say. There was a message you had about you and I working together or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's so out of the blue. You don't know.
I'm putting him on the spot. He had a
Okay.
really good message.
I do have a really good message, and you know, I know, like, again, things have not been like rocky or anything, but you know, I just want to say, and this is not me in any way trying to put anyone down or try to make myself, Brendan, Craig, anyone seem above anybody, because no one is above anybody, but
You don't.
oh, yeah, it's true. No one is above anybody, but when it comes to certain things like, you know, passion and stuff, like Brendan, Amusement Insiders, he's been doing this for what? You're going on 6 years now, 7 years?
Yeah.
Since before UConn. So he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like he's been like one of the first Wonderland content creators, really. And
You saw his Leviathan channel.
and you know, I know I'm still pretty new, like a couple of years ago with TikTok and everything, but I just want to say that, you know, everyone has their own identity. Like Brendan, Amusement Insiders, I'm me. Like everyone has their own identity. But when you're
Oh, he got so sad when
yeah,
you said
no,
that.
you're not. You're always part
I'm
of Amusement
joking.
Insiders.
You're good. My
But
God.
you know, when it's good to have your own identity, do your own thing, but it's also good to acknowledge, like, when there is excellence, right? Like, you know, two people can do two separate things really good, and then if you can come together on certain projects and collaborate, that's also really important. And I feel like, you know, like if there's no, like, I don't know how to word it now. It sounded better when I was
It did. It
when
sounded
I
really
was
good
on the phone,
yeah.
but now it sounds kind of like, not trying to be cocky, but you know, I feel like that we can bring a level of content at the moment that no other Wonderland creators can necessarily bring, and that's not putting anyone down at all, but I feel like that, you know, on certain projects and stuff, when we all work together, we bring our best, and that means the best for you guys and the best for everybody involved. And I think it's really important to not forget that, and it's really important to pursue that.
Yeah. So we're gonna start working together a lot more.
So, yeah, you know, if
What's that laugh for?
What?
Craig is going bye-bye. No, I'm kidding.
He's gonna last
you'll
longer than your Surya.
you'll see me in 3 months. What? I'm joking.
But essentially, what we were gonna get into. Let's get into. So
Let's start the podcast.
I am, but I want to say something, and this is important because a lot of people think that there's not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. What Jake worded it best. Jake told me, Brendan, you always read like the one hate comment, and then you'll word it like everyone hates me.
Oh my God, you've been doing this for years. Years. One person does something, everybody's doing this. Yep, everybody.
If I was to ask you guys right now to tell the audience if they should trust what we're about to present in full honesty after the videos you saw today, would you tell them that they should sit down and trust the information they're about to be told?
From you, I wouldn't trust anything. Take it with a grain of salt. Everything Brendan says shall always be taken with a grain of salt.
Oh, yeah?
Speculation and rumors.
Oh, my God, he's serious.
What?
After the video you just saw.
I trust
Yeah.
you. We're good.
Yeah.
I think that everyone should you know, at the end of the day, form their own opinion and take everything that anyone says with a grain of salt. However, you know, with certain, like, you know, when you get a group of people together brainstorming and stuff and certain ideas, and when you can visually see something and it just makes sense, I would say,
Ooh, a pinch of sugar.
you know, that the information presented to you is probably the most accurate to date outside of whatever the park will say.
Yeah. And there's a reason Jake's not sitting here. Yeah, because he's gonna leak it. No, but okay, honestly, we're gonna be presenting the most up-to-date information we have on this project, is what I'm trying to say. I should have worded it a little better. So you're gonna see some maps drawn of what's currently in the works and what we think that means, with a little bit of proof. So let's go to the proof project.
Who's in voice?
Greg is like, oh no. Okay. So on the map before you, you have 3 tunnels. One reinforced underneath Guardian's Lift Hill.
All horribly drawn, by the way.
And then you have one a lot more detailed structure taking form beside Vortex's Lift Hill.
Notice the little notch in that tunnel.
And then, yeah, the notch is the most important part to take note of. This is what I want you guys to trust and to just watch. Then you have a third tunnel that's taken form. It's actually Bolto's, Tiny Tom's, Surya's a little sad, and Thunder Run's exit.
Gone.
So this season, there's going to be a Wonderland worker that just stands at that like exit drop off and lifts each guest down.
No, you just jump off.
So these are your 3 tunnels. There's been a lot of misconception about these tunnels, and that comes from me too. That comes from this channel. So there's been a lot of speculation that these tunnels could technically align. Is that true, Surya, after you saw it today?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Oh my
No.
Sir.
Think about the leveling. That's what I was trying to get at.
What do you mean?
So these tunnels are on different levels of the mountain.
Okay, well, yeah, so
Nothing's working.
Well, they might be, but again,
they might be, but well, can I get into like like the footings and stuff?
No, we'll save that.
Okay,
Save that one
okay,
for
okay.
another. We are going to talk about everything we know. Don't worry. I just want to form a storyline. So currently, do these 3
No,
tunnels
they don't.
align on the same level of the mountain?
They do not. Well, okay, they definitely do not, because if you look at the furthest bottom tunnel by Guardian, where that path is, that's like at the very lowest level of the mountain, like the basement, and that at the moment has nothing to do with the other 2 tunnels. Like it's, you know, even now if you look at it, like it's probably even isolated. Like there's probably walls and other things getting in the way. So I don't think that has anything to do with the other 2 tunnels, at least at this moment. The tunnel they just dug out, is that even still on the same level?
It is on the same level.
But
Did we show him the video?
What planet are you on?
Do you remember the video?
Same video.
no, okay, but so they could make it like they could make it still connected, obviously. Those two two tunnels, but the bottom, the third tunnel, the one that goes to the lowest level, no, I don't think that has anything to do with whatever they're doing there at the moment.
Surya has a really interesting thing that he's going to talk about soon, about some things later. So what I'm trying to get at with this topic of discussion is, let's remove the maintenance tunnel from our minds. So there's not going to be a spike currently that comes out of it that connects to these other 2 tunnels. There's not going to be a coaster that shoots out of that tunnel that is involved with those other 2 tunnels dug. The maintenance tunnel does seem to be a maintenance tunnel currently. Even though there is a lot of reinforcement work going on it and it seems like overkill. But could one ask, is that not to prolong its life another 20, 30 years?
100%.
Another 40, because that's how long it's been there at this point.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in really rough shape. Have you seen it?
I'm sure it was. That's probably why it needed renovation.
And maybe they figured, you know, they got the crews there. They're already doing 2 tunnels. Why not, like, fix the third?
Yeah.
The third one.
It's a different construction company, too, by the way, doing that tunnel.
Especially if they think they're going to need to move, you know, heavy machinery in the
Over it.
area.
Okay. So,
because they could just go the other way around anyway.
do you guys see the current drawing by the tunnel by Vortex with the little divot? So, sorry, based off of, let's say you didn't know some of the information. If you looked at what you saw currently, what would you assume that tunnel was for? Because a lot of people were assuming pathways, and I want to debate this.
Okay, that's definitely not like a guest pathway. That's not a pathway that's going to be used by the average person, by like a daily guest. I think it's either something for maintenance or for conduiting or both. Like it's.
Wait, which one?
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the whole tunnel as a whole, but that's okay still.
Oh,
too.
not that little side.
No,
divot?
not yet. Not
Okay,
yet.
oh,
We're going to talk about that
okay.
in a sec. But if you were to look at this tunnel, because a lot of people watching the channel are like, oh, it looks like a guest path. It looks like a guest path. Which I can see why they would say that, because the curbs align, which is weird.
And it did look like a guest path before they put the forms up.
Yeah.
But now that the forms are up and they put the gravel base down, it's very narrow. And it's deep too. Like if you look from where the path level is down to the ground level of the tunnel, that's like
Keep going.
that's like a 6-7 foot difference. So you can't have like guests jumping down there. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. You can't build a staircase either. If it was meant to be a guest flow, they would use
The
ramps.
ramp. Yeah.
So it wouldn't have made sense to just, like, they would have laid the gravel up. Like, you know what I mean?
They would have angled, like
Yeah.
sloped it.
Um,
And it's like, not that it's narrow, but it doesn't make sense. If you think of a queue line, right, you have the entrance, maybe the exit somewhere there. You have fast lane, you have an area for like a grouper or greeter. So I don't think that really makes sense for that.
You're so self-conscious. I can see it in you. You look to me for
It's been a while.
you keep looking at me if you're okay with what you're saying. So I love this topic of discussion because so many people are like, it's the queue line, it's the exit, no. In what coaster project have we ever seen them build the queue line first?
No, yeah, never.
Ever. They would not build that first. You think they're gonna cut out the mountain and build the queue line and the exit before they build the coaster? Like,
Definitely not.
they could do a queue line, even if it involved cutting out the mountain like they did for this tunnel. They could do it in a week. Whereas the coaster, you're seeing it, the forms go up. Which brings me, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so on the screen, I'll let you, do you want to explain this? Or do you want to explain it?
Let's
Because
let Craig
let's
explain
let
it.
you explain it.
What am I explaining?
Let's Craig
Okay.
explain. Craig explain what I'm showing on the screen.
What are we showing on the screen here? Well, okay, first and foremost, you picked the worst picture to show. And second of all, never mind. So what we're looking at, I can't even point at it, is the arrow on that side over there.
Call it like vortex tunnel, and then
Whatever.
whatever. however you want.
Totatus.
Totatus? How do you pronounce it?
Totatus.
Totatus, okay.
Totatus.
Anyways, as you can see on Totatus's tunnel here, there's a staircase that kind of leads up. I mean, it doesn't have to go up, but there's obviously a cutout, a very thin cutout, and a staircase out. In theory, on Vortex's tunnel, I mean, we're looking at the wall like this, for example. There would be a cutout this way that goes kind of like that into the back of the mountain. It could be a staircase up, could be a staircase down. Who knows? We can't see that side of it, unfortunately, but that's what we're looking at. Okay. In theory, in Brendan's theory, this isn't my theory. Wait till you hear my theory. This is Brendan's.
Craig, your theory makes me so angry.
Wait, what's Craig's theory?
Look,
It's not time for it yet.
It's
When
not?
we get to discuss. Oh, wait a minute.
It is time for it. What do you think this tunnel is?
Okay, so first and foremost,
boy.
I'm just gonna go back to this other one quick. This was the tunnel picture, right? This one,
What tunnel picture?
the one we were just looking at.
The cartoon one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go back here. My God, there's a really long.
Can we also moderators? I didn't realize I had to moderate you, but can we not use swear words in the chat? That's
Who's swearing in?
Oh my
It's
God.
Jake. Look at Jake, of course. Anyways, so if you see suspiciously tunnel, we'll call it 1, being the one next to
They can't
vortex.
see your mouse, by
I
the
know.
way.
Tunnel 1 is the one next to vortex.
Okay.
And tunnel 2 is this tiny
To be
Tom's
honest,
one.
you're messing it up a little bit. So how we referred to it through the construction, just so that you can keep it that way. Reinforced tunnel is 1, vortex tunnel is 2, new tunnel is 3. So
Okay.
it makes sense, right? How
Okay.
they were in order.
So now new tunnel 2 over here, and tunnel 3. As you can see, it could be a beautiful cutoff for a nice indoor new area. Who says they won't expand Alpin and make it a nice indoor extravagant area? It could be open during WinterFest. That little cutout that we're talking about. That cutout that we're talking about over here in the wall here could be the perfect exit for Thunder Run.
This is nowhere near Thunder Run's exit.
They're gonna walk 1,000 feet
that's
to
other one.
exit
That's other one.
Thunder
That's other one. Anyway, that's my theory. I know I'm right. Nobody just wants to accept it because everybody here is enthusiasts and just wants new roller coasters.
So can I just ask? So when you exit Thunder Run, maybe during Winterfest, then you go to this Christmas market, right? And then you exit over there.
I'm serious though. Like it could. You never know. It's rumors and speculation.
Is that no? It says tunnel discussion, not rumors and speculation.
Oh my!
It's
Wonderland is spending millions of dollars.
It's okay, Craig. This is why I'm here.
It's really ugly in that mountain, by the way. You guys have no idea. And sorry, you guys can't hear me. It's really ugly in there, just so you know. Also, secondly, someone asked earlier, is it not just a big open space in there? No, it's really not. Let's get to that. Oh wait, no, we didn't finish this topic of discussion.
Hello, like you didn't even talk.
Okay, so what do you think this tunnel is, Surya?
Definitely a launch tunnel. No.
That's
okay.
what my American engineer said too.
I definitely think it
Yeah.
is a launch tunnel now. One, it's super deep, like compared to the relative pathway as well. So I think it's going to launch up and maybe go over vortex or try and curve out or do something like that. But look at the design of the tunnel. You know, it's like a trough. So you're going to have the track, the LSMs there. That little cutaway, that to me screams like a maintenance area or an area where you can...
No one's talking. You can keep talking.
Oh.
Don't worry.
or an area where like you can, you know, run conduiting for LSMs or even put like other capacitors or electrical equipment for the launch or like an evacuation area. But most modern day launch coasters have something kind of similar set up like that. I personally think it's to contain the launch area and to kind of isolate it to have a more controlled environment. But you know, well, not even, but because especially since you're coming out of the mountain, right? So it's all going to be indoors. So it only makes sense to continue that trench like outwards until you actually leave off the ground.
It'd
So,
be
yeah, I
so
think
cool to have a new indoor area in the mountain.
I think it's a launch tunnel or a launch trough.
So yeah, that's exactly. So some of my American engineer friends said the same thing, and they said this before even some of these forums went up. They're like, the trench, everything. It's just suggesting it's how they build launch coasters. And it's so funny. JD last night took whatever I sent him, and he found me a bunch of examples, mainly two tat ass.
No swearing.
And we found a lot of these trenches, very narrow in design, similar to the one there. And we found a lot of these little side pathways, similar to what they built right there. That is a side pathway. And it just is really hard to ignore that these two tunnels, Tunnel 2 and Tunnel 3, align in a perfect L. It's hard to ignore that this is a really big trench design. It's not your path design. Those form, I think a lot of people are forgetting those big, like, square forms that went down to build these walls on. They're not meant for a path.
Well, you not only that, just look at the walls itself, right? Like that's not for a path. Those are structural walls. Like,
Yeah,
that's
literally
to retain.
the same like
Yeah,
design as these
and
walls
same
there.
thickness and everything. So you wouldn't do that for a footpath. That would definitely be overkill.
Just like-
you could. I don't.
Just
it's
like
gonna be okay.
just like the overkill footpath for the tunnel that they're restoring.
Oh, I mean that's a valid
Yeah,
point, but
that's-
that's also big trucks got to go in there now.
And like
Yeah,
said,
and you gotta walk through that tunnel.
I'm
No, you
still
mean
though, right?
over it. You mean over it. That's why they're doing it. Surya and I getting our trip to Lazy Bear. I'm sorry, I'm screaming into my mic. They had to reinforce the tunnel because that's our path to Lazy Bear.
I want to point out that I did lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah, okay.
I want to point out that I have done nothing but put on weight. But so I just want you guys to see these images because this is going to be a huge topic of discussion moving forward. I'm trying to be careful of how I word things right now.
Look, you can still see the formwork on Tortatus. I'm joking. That's a joke.
And
Theming.
there's going to be a roof, by the way. If you guys can't look very closely to the right side, closest to Vortex's lift hill, you'll see the rebar sticking out left, and then you'll see it connect over there. And there is electrical already connected in behind there.
Oh yeah, you can
On
see
the wall,
the top
yeah.
of the exposed bars.
Yeah.
Why does nobody have any faith in Zamperla?
Okay, so can we talk about this?
Yeah, actually,
You
I do.
go.
I see this a lot. This
I'm
comment.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I was
What are
getting
you yelling
triggered.
for? Can
I
you
was
relax?
no, I can't. No, I can't
Breathe.
relax.
Take a chill pill.
Let him.
You
Let
sound
him
like
explain
someone
this.
I know.
Continue.
No, okay, so a lot of
Go on,
people,
bro.
no, at Winter Chill Out, like a lot of people were saying like, oh, you know, do you trust Zamperla to do something like this? And you think about it, like a company that literally went from building rides like, you know, Lumberjack to Time Warp, stuff like that, all of a sudden goes to building a 400+ foot roller coaster that goes 200 kilometers an hour. Like that is a huge jump in technology, engineering, and everything, and trust. That's the biggest thing, right? Like Cedar Fair took a gamble on Zamperla, but you know what? Whenever you get the opportunity, or even just go look at videos of Top Thrill 2 and stuff, and you see the way they designed it, the trains, everything, like this gamble has paid off because Zamperla has not only proven themselves technologically, like they can launch those trains in virtually any weather condition. Aesthetically speaking, these are some of the nicest trains, the nicest design of any ride ever built, in my opinion. Like I think it blows away anything B&M has ever done, and I like that. That includes Fury. Like the way the structure is, like it's absolutely amazing. So you have a company that went from literally building glorified carnival rides to now these huge mega projects, or mega project at the moment. But you know what? It works. It works better than any B&M. It works better than any Intamin ever built thus far. And it's so impressive that a company that literally did nothing can now go to this to compete with B&M Intamin Mock. Like, yeah, I have complete faith that Zamperla can deliver virtually anything a park wants.
You have to understand too. Zamperla hired people from Intamin.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're not talking about Zamperla Valaires anymore. We're talking about Zamperla, who can take Intamin coasters and make them the same. And I'm really excited to see, because Wonderland in their true fashion, I hate this word, I hate this so much, being a test park, getting the first fully designed Zamperla new age coaster, Lightning
Doesn't
Train.
seem too far out of the picture, does it?
No, like it seems like this is exactly it. Now, taking some of the information we kind of heard through the rumor mill that Wonderland had a change in budget, an increase, and now they're going with a different model. But so entertain that. Do you believe, because do you believe Wonderland changed their mind last minute? So we saw that survey, Blast Coaster, right?
No.
You know the answer. Why are you saying no?
It's rumors and speculation.
You are privy to that meeting.
I was not there. Probably another guy.
I think one of the biggest reasons that Wonderland most likely changed their mind was the selling factor that, you know, Zamperla has proven that they can run their rides, their design, in any weather condition.
Yeah. And you were at a meeting 2 years ago where WinterFest rides are an important
A
thing.
very important thing. And, you know, like, again, I'm not knocking WinterFest, but if you go to WinterFest, like, it's kind of nothing wrong with it, but there needs to be something new, something major, I think, to draw more people in, because we have a very successful Winterfest compared to the other parks.
Oh, yeah.
However, like, you know,
Successful is an understatement.
Take the mic for if you ever want to talk. No, me. He can grab it for me. You're talking.
something the other parks have, though, you know, like Kings Island, Kings Dominion, Carowinds, is they run major attractions. And I think if Wonderland could also get on that level, we could see our attendance numbers for Winterfest double or triple. Which would be that would be groundbreaking for Cedar Fair and for Wonderland. Like that would help with the future investments too.
Yeah, they really don't pull in teens at all for Winterfest.
No, they don't.
They don't. So if they could start pulling in teens, which I know groans, but that's still money. That's a lot of money. They already have the most successful Winterfest event. Imagine if they could make it as busy as it's never going to be as busy as Haunt or Summer, but they could make it almost as good as summer season in attendance.
Still won't be Fury, but
I want to hear your thoughts, actually. This is a really good topic. So did you hear that Wonderland switched Vikings Rage over to electric?
yeah.
Do you want to explain why they would have done that? I don't know myself. I'm actually curious.
I think they did that one because the old system, it was a pure hydraulic drive tire system, and
Which makes no
although
sense to me.
well, it's very powerful. Like it has a lot of horsepower, but it takes a while to start accelerating, and there's still like always the risk of rupturing a pipe and stuff,
So it has no
which
torque.
it has no torque. Which the problem is, though, when it gets cold, like some of those older hydraulic lines and seals really can rupture. They expand, they contract, and that's not ideal to run the ride during WinterFest. And the Rage is a very popular WinterFest attraction, especially since it's one of the only attractions that runs during WinterFest. So, not only will it be more reliable, there's going to be less moving parts because it's all electric now, all electric motors and everything. It's going to have a little bit more pep, so you probably will notice, you taking off faster, like accelerating faster, being able to stop faster. Can run in any weather condition, which is very important, especially for
I thought it did run in any
WinterFest.
weather condition anyway.
Well, it did, but
Struggle.
it struggles in the cold, right? There's always that risk of a hydraulic component rupturing or, icing happening somewhere in like some of the pneumatics or whatnot. But with all electric, that doesn't matter.
I have a 4-cylinder and it makes more torque than horsepower. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, Jasmine's husband
I know
is
he's
into
a car
cars.
guy.
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay, let's get into the maintenance tunnel. This is where you can. No, this is a really good point that Surya pointed out. So I'll start it off quickly. So orange is the current tunnels connecting. Black is the current constructed tunnel. Red is the area that nothing can access. In fact, I would actually add a little bit more red in between those two red boxes, right?
So just for clarification, what are those red boxes?
So that's an old one.
Okay, but is it water?
Yeah.
It's not. Why is it bubbly?
I don't
Craig,
know.
there's gum in the bottom of that bottle.
That was
What are
probably you.
doing?
That was me. I put that there.
Oh, okay.
And you're gonna drink out of that?
Yeah, it's
And
fine.
you're wondering why it's bubbling.
Oh, yeah, that's probably why it's bubbling. Oh, okay, so I'll just drink out of here.
What in the Shane Dawson?
I'm just going to drink out of that then.
Okay, so the middle red box is the drop track to Guardian. The red box closest to Thunder Run is Thunder Run's Helix down. And there's actually a third little red box for Guardian's Station. And then there is the washrooms actually just under Vortex's drop as well. So getting a coaster over in Elpin to the yellow lines, the maintenance tunnel, is next to impossible because Guardian, that red box in the middle, goes all the way down. You want to explain because you know this?
Yeah, so the drop track, it starts from the highest level, obviously, and then it drops you to the ground level, the mid level. However, the bottom of the pit where the drop track lies for maintenance purposes goes all the way down to the basement. So that tunnel, that like shaft, goes from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, and it essentially almost cuts the mountain in half. Like, unfortunately, there's really no way to get around that unless you redesign Guardian's drop track, and that was $5 million. So that's not happening.
Well, remember, we're getting a $10 million market for Christmas.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're getting rid of Guardian.
We're getting a new Alpin.
Okay, I want to elaborate on your little idea because it's bothering me so much. So, in what world does Alpin indoors make sense?
What? I don't even know what Alpin is, but it's
Like
just-
Germany outdoors, like Oktoberfest.
they can do Oktoberfest. It's about drinking.
Yeah,
You
but they only
drink
do
in the
that.
bar.
They only do that for October or September. What is it?
Okay, and what, Germans don't live inside? They live outside? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean?
So, wait, are we traveling into the mountain to meet some Germans?
I'm telling you, it can be marketed very well with them saying, look what's it been. You haven't been able to go in here for 45 years. This is what's been going on.
Guten Tag. No, what's the Verbolten one?
It's Guten Tag, first of all, you mort.
A fielse.
Valhennison.
I can't.
Do you know I had a bad dream? Can I tell you guys my bad dream?
You didn't fit on Verbolten. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I had a bad dream that this was a family boomerang in Elpin. Picture the second tunnel, the little spike coming up, okay?
Oh my god.
And then it lets go, and then you go out the other end of the tunnel and just do a little thing around Elpin, and Thunder Run's old station is like a dip down, and then it goes back up, and then comes back. I had a bad dream about that. It was scary. I woke up, and I was panicking and sweating, and then JD calmed me down, and we talked about it. We had to like talk about it the next morning, because they wouldn't be teasing this early for a family coaster.
You know what the funny thing is, though? It'd still probably be better than Yukon. You said that?
Now I understand. Y'all understand why he wasn't on the podcast?
Oh, no.
Fuck, I'm being agreed with.
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, sorry, off topic. So, right now, these tunnels do not connect, and they're not able to connect in terms of a coaster track going from one end of the mountain and coming out the yellow maintenance tunnel.
Impossible.
Impossible. But theory. I almost called you theory. Surya, please explain something. I'm going to switch to it, and I'm going to allow you to explain your theory because it's probably 99% accurate.
Well, we'll see. It's awkward. Okay. Do you want to? Can I?
Yeah, you go to
So
town.
these white tubes here, these are called caissons. They're for in-ground pouring, like concrete footings. This is at the furthest bottom level of the mountain. So this is the basement level. The mountain is made up of 3 primary levels: the top, the ground level, and then the basement. So like Guardian and stuff, that's at the top. Where these 2 tunnels are, tunnels 2 and 3, they're at the ground level of the mountain. And concrete floor, like a huge concrete slab. I don't know how thick it is, but the thing is, and Guardian Station is built on the same ground level too. Now, Guardian Station can get away with it because the track is relatively small. If you look at it, it doesn't have a thick spine. The ride vehicles are small. There are only 2 cars, 8 people per train. So it's relatively light. So literally for Guardian, all they did was just bolt the track into the pre-existing ground. They could have done some fortifications underneath, but nothing needed to be extended all the way to the basement floor into the ground to build a new footing. However, for something more substantial, like a Zamperla, Mock, B&M, whatever, with a thicker track, and you have fully loaded trains, maybe 20, 30 people on the train, that's going to be a lot more weight. So you're going to need something stronger. And that concrete floor, you aren't just going to be able to drop track and a train and a station onto it. You're going to have to cut through the floor and go down into the basement and put actual pile footings into the soil, into the furthest bottom level of the basement, which makes sense why the caissons are there. So again, I have no idea, but it's very plausible that they've already started doing some foundation work, pouring footings, getting the caissons aligned, putting the rebar cages in already down there on the bottom level of the basement of the mountain. And then they're going to pour the footings, they're going to put the columns up, and they're going to cut holes to where the track and where the columns need to be on the ground floor of the mountain. Again, there is already a pre-existing concrete slab there, a floor there. No idea how thick it is, but even if it was a foot thick, you still can't build on it because there's always that risk, it could crack over time and stuff. So if they wanted to put a major roller coaster there and even a station, they will need some kind of fortification that goes directly into the ground.
Now, when you see these sonotubes or caissons, let's go back to it for a second. I like to eliminate any food for thought because a lot of people will have food for thought and they'll kind of use it against. Do these look like basic sized ones that could be for like small scale theming, like a haunt maze or...
Definitely not. And you can tell right there by the length of them, like, what is that? That's maybe some of them are
6 to 8 feet.
At least. So that means that that's going 6 to 8 feet underneath
Down.
the ground floor slab of the basement of the mountain. So that is a fairly deep set footing, and anything deep set is for, something structurally substantial that has a lot of weight that needs distribution.
And there's
Like
some
a roller
smaller
coaster.
ones there too that look like they'd be for...
Well, that could even be, for like station footings, platform footings, other type of mechanical components that they still need strength and they need to fortify.
Yeah.
That could even be to fortify parts of the ground floor.
Do you see those massive ones in the back there? But they're like shorter in length, but like thick.
Yeah.
Like Bertha.
Yeah, those are definitely like all of this, especially since it's in the basement. This isn't for your run-of-the-mill mountain restoration or repair. This is for something substantial.
Yeah. So this was filmed end of September. I think a lot of people forgot, including myself. If you remember, before they reinforced the tunnel, before those barricades went in and nothing could get in and out, for about 4 months, I filmed construction updates of cars driving in and out. Cement truck even, I think, drove in and out. If I'm not mistaken, maybe someone can find the footage and correct me. But Hartwell was in there a lot too. There was a lot of construction vehicles going in and out. And I only fly for 45 minutes a day for most parts, 45 minutes a day. So imagine what the drone didn't capture. So would it be safe to assume these are probably already done and then they reinforce the tunnel?
Probably, yeah.
Because you don't want to leave those sitting around for too long, right? Because they can get water damage, especially with what we know about the mountain.
Yeah,
it floods.
And they could deform and, get waterlogged.
How are we in 2024 and these are still like the best quality photos that we can get?
It was a mission for you to get. Yeah. Oh
so
my God.
this photo, by the way, caused a lot of problems. See this photo on the
Taken
screen?
at Haunt?
This was taken at Haunt.
You're leaving that maze, no?
I left a maze. I stuck my phone over.
Oh, this is your video.
This is
I remember you taking this video. I
I got yelled at.
Yeah, because this is where what was that haunt maze called? Blackout?
It wasn't Blackout this year.
The park did not want anyone filming these. That they put 2 entertainment workers up against the fence and prohibited any guest from taking photos of this. So we were sneaky, and do you remember? We would distract a worker and
Yeah, but they clued in really quickly.
Yeah. I still took the photo anyways. And then I got upset, and then it actually led to some conversations with the park because I was like, how am I not able to take a photo over a fence? Like,
oh, yeah, they have them kind of out there in the open. This was the maze. Well, I can't remember.
Forget the maze now.
the ruins.
No, the other one, remember?
Oh, this was the maze that they removed
Yeah, it was terrible.
for this, and it's probably. But what doesn't make sense is the location of these caissons are near the maintenance tunnel.
But they could have
stored them
there.
Yeah.
And we don't know. It's a big area down there, right? And we could only see this, and it's dark, so we don't know what's back there.
Oh, yeah, Cole was here. It was opening day of Halloween Haunt in 2023, and Cole put his light over, and then I took a photo quickly, and then someone came over. Do you remember? There's nothing to film there. Yes, there is.
When they say there's nothing, that's 100% because there is something.
Oh.
That's true.
Yes, pandemonium. But yeah, so I think your theory is accurate, and I think the footings are done. I think they're done, and they're going to build.
We have no idea.
Yeah. And that's why we're not seeing footings in the
launch tunnel.
The launch tunnel. Well, the launch tunnel is going to need them because that's ground level. Right?
Coming out,
yeah.
like the outside portion, but
not the inside portion.
Not the inside portion where they cut away that wall.
Yeah.
So everything on the inside of that wall is probably already done in the basement.
Jake, everything okay?
Yeah, Jake, you okay there, buddy? Oh, his Wi-Fi sucks. He probably
he probably sent it once.
Yeah.
500 times.
Let's talk about this. Yes, okay. What's your opinion on this? I want to pick your brain on this.
This was very kind of last minute because the park didn't even announce it in September or October. To be honest, I don't know what the ridership was like. I don't know what kind of maintenance it was like, but I think it's starting to get outdated, and other parks are slowly starting to remove theirs as well. And, it's right there at the front of the park. And it was a pretty big plot of land, considering the ride could only do, 20 people an hour, if that. Right? That's taking up valuable real estate, especially for a place like...
20, it's 5 people an hour. How many people fit on it? 6?
One of me.
No, I think it's 3 and 3.
Yeah, so 6 people can, at max, 6, 12.
And they only operated one side.
Probably literally 18 people an hour.
So...
Most.
That's true.
A 15-minute unload and load process. The thing goes for 5 minutes.
So yeah, it probably just wasn't worth it anymore to the park, especially considering the land that it sits on.
Yeah. Now, okay, so they scrapped this really quickly. They appear to be rushing this. So let's say this is what confuses me. So Grace, we all seen Grace's video, right? Hands up in the chat if you've seen Grace's video. They teased the mountain construction, right? She said, we'll have an announcement in early April about what some of this is. Some of it. She said some of it, not all of it. So don't get your hopes up. We're not going to get an announcement out of Cedar Fair in April, unless this is some sort of
Our Alpine expansion.
There is a thing. Because this is what confuses me. What is Extreme Skyflyer's plot of land, and how is it important? Like they're removing it, and from more recent footage that they're about to remove those 2 giant footings that they could just bury like they did with the aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to remove these giant concrete things.
Wasn't this a theory we talked about actually? Kind of.
Yes, so that is up for discussion, but the Fly has
They wouldn't need to
Nothing
remove the
technically
concrete footings.
and they have the Fly has survey markings on it, which would mean they wanted it to stay in the map. Which also has me leaning to an Alpine coaster, by the way, because the Bats supports for the boomerang part of it have survey markings on it. Shockwave has survey markings on it. The Fly Station and Lift Hill has survey markings on it, and the back of Soaring Timbers has survey markings on it. Do you get what I'm saying for storyline?
It's going in that direction.
It's going out towards antique cars. Would be a really good guess for that, and that would mean all those rides that they have those survey markings on it, at least their original intent was to keep it.
What? Just a little bit of a side step here. What was your 2020? Was it 2021 or 2022 theory about like a wing coaster going and not saying this is happening? I don't know, but a wing coaster going there and then like having a turnaround right around there.
Yeah. So the turnaround on the other side of front gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that team. What are they called again? I forget their name right now. Oh my god, brain fart. The people who design coasters for me, and everyone, not just me. They actually have a design, an Asian dragon themed wing coaster for this section of the park. Yeah. Escape Designs. Thank you. But back on topic, 'cause I kind of like ranted a little too much there. They are in a rush to get this plot of land prepped, which says a lot too. So we're over here arguing that the station being built first and what we're seeing over in Elpin with the launch tunnel is really important. How can we ignore Extreme Skyflyer's plot of land prep, and say that this isn't part of the coaster as well, or a different coaster or a different project? Because 2026 flat ride, there's no way they're doing this now for a 2026 flat ride.
And that land is too valuable.
So it's really confusing. Do you guys not see how confusing this project is? Like, what is your brain? Like, I want to pick your brain on this. So you have Elpin right now, and Grace teased only Elpin. And then you have Extreme Skyflyer, and in the video she says, we're not ready to discuss this project yet for this plot of land. But they're ready to discuss Elpin a little bit. Is that not weird?
There's nothing saying that this has to be used for 2025 or even like 2026, right? Like, what if this is for
30? Like,
no, you like 20. Well, I personally, and I think I don't know what like you were thinking too about, was it the World Expo and stuff, but I always personally saw a wing coaster going in that area. You're not like, okay, maybe kind of like Gatekeeper at Cedar Point, kind of meandering around the front gate. Maybe they do some kind of cool interactive design there and then have it come back. I thought that this plot of land would be a perfect place for a turnaround or any large type of element like an Immelman or something like that. So I still think that, this plot of land will be used, maybe not necessarily for a wing coaster, but another major roller coaster. I think B&M with those huge support columns and just like one huge or two huge elements there, but maybe later on for like 2027 or something.
Yeah, we are predicting a 2027 coaster as well, but more so the family coaster, not like another high thrill coaster. Yeah. Unless you're like, we're looking at, there's so many different possibilities. Is this a family coaster that we're getting again in Elpin? Elpin's a very family area if you look at it, but then...
So then what about if it's like a dark coaster type thing?
I had that on my most likely additions, the Zamperla dark coaster, but again, it looks like most of the coasters can be outside the mountain based off of the current construction. Do you think these two are connected, or do you think they're separate? I keep hip hopping.
If you asked me a month ago, I would have said connected, but now
separate.
After getting rid of the buildings, I say separate.
So that's really weird though, because explaining them being separate doesn't make any sense.
So,
because I do agree. I think they're separate projects, but it doesn't make sense to me them being separate.
I come to think of it being separate because if you look where this is, relative to where all the other construction is happening. If you were to have a coaster launch out of what we think is going to be that launch tunnel, do some stuff around Alpen, then somehow circle back towards the front gate to that plot of land, if you map that out one way, that's like 3,500 feet. So, to do everything, that roller coaster would almost have to be 7,000 feet long.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's possible, but I don't know. I can't. That's why I don't think it's.
That'd be the longest in Canada, no?
Grace said it was an
world.
attraction in her video. She didn't say, she specifically stated attraction that was replacing Extreme Skyflyer. That's the other part that mind. And I will say, so everyone got really, so let's talk about this, Mark. This is great. This is actually a good podcast because people don't, like, Surya can probably back this up, Craig can back this up, JD can back this up the most. How confusing this project is to cover. Like, how much in Discord we think we're close to solving the problem.
Back and forth.
And then a little bit of information comes out and we're like, well, it makes no sense. Like the tunnel, the maintenance tunnel not being a part of the equation in its actual outer area makes no sense. But could it be coming out of the mountain, even though based off of what you saw today, does anything going up look plausible either?
Oh, well, this is yours again.
Well, you can answer it too.
I had something else in mind.
Well, say what you wanted to say then.
Yeah, say what you want.
Just in terms of Grace saying that this area is for an attraction over here, an attraction in the amusement park industry is anything, bro.
Yeah.
It could be literally a new stage and singers. Like, it could be anything. So it doesn't mean a ride at all. It could even be a new restaurant, new food. Anything can be an attraction at a theme park.
So you know how I like to eliminate things. It's not going to be a restaurant because Backlot, which
That's
is
not
right
attraction,
there.
but okay, yeah.
But Backlot's getting a makeover too, which I thought was really interesting. If Wonderland, I swear to goodness, Wonderland, if Grace worded it a renovation and a makeover, if I walk into Wonderland this season and Backlot is still there with its theme, I have to be careful with my wording here.
In true Wonderland
I will
fashion.
cry. I will cry. Just like if I see B&M truck pulling into the parking lot, I will hop in that truck and drive it right across back that border.
And I will chain myself to that truck.
But if you don't take this opportunity to give us Ginza Gardens back,
It's beautiful.
Gorgeous building.
right? This is the opportunity too. If they don't take it, like if you're already spending a lot of money to do what they're doing, because if you look at the video, they even removed the light fixtures. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's not some puny renovation. It looks like a full gut so far. We were told, we heard that it was going to be like Lazy Bear Lodge,
What?
Backlot Cafe.
Oh.
Yeah. In terms of operations, like the same setup.
Well, it works.
Yeah, it
Very
does.
efficiently.
And I really hope. I'm super excited about that new sous chef. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited about the sous chef. I can't wait to see what she has to offer for like.
Where did she come from? Did she come
have
from
no
another
idea.
Cedar Fair park? Or?
I don't know. They only introduced her in the Black History Month video, but just even what I saw, like I'm super excited.
She
like
looks
any
she
sort
knows what
of.
she's doing.
Yeah, I can't wait because Wonderland keeps teasing that they're changing the menu across the park. So this is our year. I'm keep going off screen, but I'm so off topic. I'm so sorry. So what were we talking about before all that? The connection. Okay, so another thing I want to throw at you guys. There's so much information that came our way, by the way. So you're a little bit behind. Thunder Run's old station. They ripped it up, right?
Yeah.
They've left 2 buildings. Do you know what those buildings are that they left?
Were you saying they're the power, the
Yeah.
Transformers?
The Transformers to the ride for the powered coaster ride. Does that not look like the perfect plot of land for a second launch? A straightaway section with the power still there? Why would they would you not just rip that up if it had like
How long? Like, have you mapped it out? On a
Yeah,
map?
it's
Like,
it's a decent launch. It's like it's very similar to thing and it could go either under the fly or a top hat over the fly. Think about it that way. You know how launch coasters, especially Intimate, starts with that really pathetic launch? So let me paint a picture for you guys. It launches because it's not a big straightaway coming out of the mountain. It does its little Intamin launch, the little tease. You go through a little corkscrew-ish, like 0G roll that takes you towards Thunder Run's old station. And then and you go up a little top hat.
Do you think it's going to be like Pantheon then with a swing launch?
I don't think we have room for a spike. Like, picture it. Where would the spike go?
Where would all the work to switch the track
That's
and all
true.
that go?
Yeah.
Well, I do think we're gonna have switch track. I do, because for capacity reasons, they're gonna need some sort of switch. I think at some point in the ride, it might have a little tease where it comes back and we go backwards for a little bit.
Or even like Voltron.
Yeah. Although Mach seems a little out of the budget with what they're already doing, right? Do you think Wonderland would spend like $60 million?
Oh no. Well, probably not on Mach. I don't even think Mach. Yeah, I don't think you can rack up a bill that big.
Can you demonstrate the line? Do you want to tell a story about me on Pantheon?
Oh my god, yeah, you think this guy is his first time ever on any roller coaster, and this is a person who's gotten rollbacks on Top Thrill Dragster, the original one, and we're going on Pantheon, and it's literally like his first time. Oh, it's making noises! Oh!
I turned to Surrey and I was like, why is it making that noise? I think it's in the POV. If you watch my POV reaction, I turned to Surrey. I'm like, why is it making that noise? He's like, it's the launch.
The guy gets a rollback on Dragster, and we're going a quarter of that on Pantheon, and he's there freaking out like he's never done anything before.
No, mocks aren't 60 million, but with the current imagined plot of land based off of things we've seen, and the inside the mountain construction, guys, you have to go back to Surya's little definition. If they're putting footings in the basement and then drilling, this is a big, expensive project. It's probably not as expensive as Yukon's tunnel, but it's up there.
I mean, you never know. Like, it depends how much
They don't release these
retrofitting and
numbers.
stuff.
Yeah, Cedar Fair is not going to be releasing numbers anymore.
Nope. That's kind of unfortunate. But, depending how much work they actually still have to do in there and like all the retrofitting and reinforcing they have to do, it could very well cost $10 million. It could.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So now you have, so imagine that. You launch a little bit out of the mountain. You come up, do a little, head towards Thunder Run. You go, top head over the fly. It takes you into the antique cars. And now you're doing your little twists and turns and spike, reverse, spike again, come back. And you head back towards the mountain. And then you come in that new third tunnel on that slight angle of angled brake run, right? Do they angle brake runs normally like that? I know dive coasters do and B&Ms do, but do launch coasters angle their brake runs? If it had to, could it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a very...
Look at Ka. Ka's whole brake run is down that entire hill.
Oh, that's true.
Or even Pantheon, like it does that.
Oh,
thing
it
and
does.
then-
It comes in, yeah. Because, again, another fact we can't ignore is the first tunnel is a trench. This new tunnel is an ever so slight angle.
Mhm.
And that is the final form because they've laid down the gravel, which they do before forming, right?
Yeah. Yeah. they
Or
can.
could that
Or-
be to get the excavators
That's
in and out?
probably for the equipment.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Were you just agreeing with me?
I was, but I was going to correct him. I was like, okay, I don't want to crush his hopes. Honestly, that's probably for the equipment.
Okay, good. 'cause then
It's
that's-
weird how they're doing the walls first and not any footings, but I mean, it's still very easy to auger through any type of gravel or loose soil like that. But yeah, they probably put gravel there so they don't disturb any of the native soil on the ground. If I had to
Really?
guess, probably.
Would that be for a reason? Just picking your brain?
Yeah, to keep the soil intact and stuff, right? So you don't loosen it or disturb it. So when you go and put the footing there, it's like
Sounds very sensitive.
some of us are sensitive.
Is that why you're talking about it so delicately?
Yeah. The soil needs to be loved and nurtured. Then
Um,
you can build a big, strong coaster on it.
so,
You tell him, sorry.
I will.
based off of everything, both of you, based off of everything that you saw today, that we've seen so far, Grace's video, what do you think? Do you think Elpin is the location of the coaster? Do you think these tunnels are the location of the coaster? Let me go back to a good... I know your theory.
Come on, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Craig.
I'm going to pick his brain.
I think Frontier is not done, but they've done some investments. They brought back the area. They've done their work in that area for now.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't understand why Action Zone isn't the next area to pick, but they now picked Alpin, and I feel like that's just the area they're going to pick. Area by area, they're just going to start investment. Who's to say next year, 2 years, we don't see Action Zone get completely torn up?
It is.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So I think Alpin's for sure that area. They want more people. There's no reason to be in that area now other than just a couple family rides.
Syria's reading a comment that's triggering him.
Yeah, do you know what comment that is?
Speaking of weak soil.
Don't get me started on that.
I want to elaborate a little more because I actually thought I was going to disagree with Craig fully, but yeah, the park is 100%. You'd have to be an idiot to not realize the park's not going from old area to old area and bringing back its heritage.
Still don't understand Action Zone, but we'll get there at some
Yeah,
point.
it'll come. It's World Expo. The park's already kind of teased that
But
World
it's
Expo.
not.
No, that it's like they're going to bring World Expo.
I
back to
get
life.
it, but it's not. It's
Um,
not a World Expo
so-
right now.
Do you think then, because earlier you said it was going to be a market, do you think the new coaster is going to take up this area?
I'm not arguing there's going to be or not be a coaster here. I'm just saying that there's a lot of money to be played around with, and I think a lot of it is going to be used just to make this area be a lot more pleasant to walk around.
Oh, well, that's obvious.
Even Frontier Canada is all pleasant to walk around.
Yes, yeah. Alpen makes so much sense, and I think a lot of people haven't even clued in that Oktoberfest. Okay, they've thrown it in Medfair for the longest time ever, and having like an actual Alpen themed area to host Oktoberfest in for actually the month,
Jeez, what's going on, Forsyth?
it would be amazing. But on top of that, what was I gonna say? Something about Alpen. Oh, I love that the park called it Alpen because a lot of people were triggered by me calling it Alpen. And
It's
then
always been Alpen, though.
elaborate.
I don't know. It's just they've mentioned it before. Even if you watch
Hey,
history videos, like
Alpen, then it's Alpen.
Yeah.
even if you watch history videos, the name of the areas, Alpen was one of the names of the original area, was it not?
It was always Alpen to
Yeah.
me. Like when I
It
went
was
with my
always called
dad,
that.
it was Alpen, yeah. So that's cool. I really want to see a nicely themed Alpen area. Do you think they would do anything else, like a restaurant?
I told you what I think.
You think it's gonna be in the mountain?
I'm telling you, we're getting. Come on, tell me how awesome that would be to market that you haven't been able to go in there in the last 40 years, this and that, and now 40 years later, we're opening the doors and you can finally go in the mountain.
What's a GM multi-launch though? I'm actually curious.
GM?
Gravity or Gravity Group, my butt.
Yeah, gravity group. There you go.
General Motors?
That's
General Motors multi-launch.
Been thinking General Motors.
What in the
maybe.
Disney park? Alpen refresh, yeah. But I'm excited. But again, so if you had to pick between the two, you guys already said that Alpen is going to house the new coaster and not Extreme Skyflyer.
I think so.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you something. Grace's video actually confuses me because the park said they're going to make some sort of an announcement early April. We've never seen that before. And that's what scares me. Because they said
What are
they're
you
not
scared
ready
of?
to talk. She said she's not ready to talk about what's replacing Extreme Skyflyer right now, attraction-wise. But they're ready to talk about the construction, some of the construction in Alpen.
So when they say some of the construction, could they mean like relocating of buildings and stuff like that?
So that's what I think. I think it's going to be a really lousy announcement. But she said that we're going to be excited about it. But when parks say that, have you seen, like, what was it? Kentucky Kingdom was like biggest announcement in history. It was WinterFest. And everyone thought it was going to be like a crazy, like, good ride. Parks do that all the time. Cedar Point's famous for that. So I could totally see Grace. Like, I just think that, like, no matter what, we're getting a coaster in 2025. That's obvious. Like, we're due for a coaster in 2025. But the park is playing around with everyone right now, and it's not upsetting me. It's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. Wonderland, stop.
Okay, first of all, I definitely think it's a coaster going in the mountain now because, like, and I'm sorry, but you wouldn't have people walk through a concrete trough to get
It's
to the
not
mountain.
going to be a concrete trough. It's going to be nicely themed and everything.
Concrete trough.
Again, do we have a photo? Do we have a photo?
We do.
Give
We
me
do.
the
Yeah,
photo.
show him the trough.
I thought you slapped him for
My ring hitting the microphone.
He is
Okay,
right, though. This
so-
was concrete walls, and then look what they
Yeah,
did.
exactly. So screw you guys.
Oh.
They can make this. You can't see the mouse. Oh my god. They can make the side of the walls on this photo right here. These. Oh my god. This can just be covered in the paper mache that they cover the side of the mountain in
Paper
normally,
mache?
whatever it's covered in, and it would look just like a mountain. It's a beautiful walkway. Same with on the inside. What you don't understand, they got to make a concrete wall if they've got to put a roller coaster anyway. They got to make the stupid concrete wall.
But you're
So
alluding
put the
to you knowing too much right now.
You put the stupid concrete wall, right, and then guess what? You cover it with paper mache. It looks like a mountain, and now it's.
But how do you
fixed.
know it's not already in there, Craiga?
Why do you need that much concrete though for a simple walkway? If it's
He's
just
right
concrete
about
wall?
that too.
Who says it can't be both?
Oh, so now you're
Wait,
not being able to walk up.
What in the Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? You're like the coaster derails.
There's gonna be
and
like
hits us.
crossing arm gates, ding ding ding, run run run.
We come out alive, but we get like knocked across half the park.
Maybe a discount on any merch.
I don't know. There's a lot of space in that mountain. It's a big building.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, it's a big warehouse that's covered in paper mache. You can put whatever you want in that.
This
thing.
is actually just Wonderland's new jail for the Vaughn teenagers.
Oh, good.
It's for sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll go there too. We can have a party.
But a moving walkway. It's an aquarium. The park's building an aquarium.
They're bringing the dolphin show back.
We have Ripley's. The
Uh,
Dolphin Show never left. You guys have been going for how many years to Wonderland?
You're so funny.
I know.
but again, we can't ignore the caissons. Do you guys have no idea? You guys have no idea. And I don't want to allude to too much, but we met with some people from Wonderland or someone from Wonderland. We won't say who. And it almost seemed like they were enjoying how difficult this project was to figure out.
I'm so confused. I am so confused right now. It's not even funny.
The meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, it was funny because this project's confusing to
Everybody.
figure out. Yes. And the park's enjoying it. Do they know what it is? They do.
No, nobody knows. They have no clue. They're just letting these construction workers build and see
Yeah.
what they're gonna finish.
But I saw someone in chat say this. Well, sorry, we'll wrap up the stream shortly. But I saw someone in the stream say this. They might be looking to an early announcement because track's going to arrive soon, and then they maybe
And
want
it's
to.
obvious.
Yeah.
And then,
Maybe this is a new Cedar Fair tactic. They did tease Top Thrill 2 a year before too, didn't they? New formula for Thrill.
They've
New.
been teasing
they
Top Thrill
did.
2 for ages.
Yeah.
Have they not?
So maybe they're going to start doing that too. Like if
And
it is Wonderland's biggest investment, right?
And I mean, it's
If.
pretty obvious when
Like-
you go there and there's that huge friggin' footing, like just in the ground in the middle of the pathway. Then it's like, oh yeah, that's obviously not for a drink stand.
Yeah.
When did Top Thrill 1 close?
The accident.
No, not why. When? What year?
2021.
Did they not? They already announced in 2021 that it was going to be closed for the remainder of the year, right? Did they
Yeah.
not?
No,
at the
in
end.
2022 they said it would be closed. 2021 closed for the remainder of the year. 2022 closed for the season, and in September of 2022, I think, or August, they announced that it would be forever closed.
I could have swore they wrote somewhere that it was going to be for future, but right at the beginning. Was it not the beginning of 2022 that they said it's not opening this season? It's
Top Thrill.
He would know of all people though. I wouldn't.
Yeah, they announced midway through 2022.
I'm saying
that
right
it
at the
was
beginning,
done.
didn't they kind of hint at it that it wasn't, that's already going to be closed and redone, or no?
All they said was it was going to be closed for all of 2022.
Oh, okay.
How do you know it's their biggest investment?
It's just a good assumption based on when we're
Inflation.
seeing that too.
Again, so when you're seeing the coaster, inflation actually would push it over that too. That is a statement to unfairly push. Yeah,
And when you're seeing it done, look how early this is.
earliness, its location is a key thing. It's taking up a very important part. And I have a gut feeling, and my gut feelings are usually somewhat correct. Remember, how long have I been predicting a 2025 coaster? And then you came and verified it. Remember that? I remember that day. So I've been predicting a 2025 coaster for 3 years. And then Surya came to me with some concrete evidence of it happening. And that was when we were just because our podcast last year, we were already talking about this.
A 20
Yeah.
that we know. For,
You were team wing launch, and I was team not Zamperla back then. It was Intamin or something.
Yeah, I think it was Maverick or
A mock or something.
Mock Spinner, Extreme Spinner.
But yeah, we're not gonna do a hangout stream just because obviously yeah, just like Krieger wants to get home for obvious reasons. Yeah, and stuff, right?
I need to get home.
Yeah, this has already gone on a little longer, but yeah. Do you guys have any questions for like Suri? He hasn't been around in a while.
That's fine.
That sounded like shade. It wasn't.
My hairline's getting worse.
I think it's gonna be a launch. No, okay, so let's talk about that for a quick second. Wing coaster and invert. Any possibility? I would say no.
I don't
Invert.
think.
But if it's going in this mountain, impossible, correct?
I'm team invert until I see track.
Wing coaster, yeah, unless you're gonna smash into everything.
Flying coaster can't operate in rain, so I can't see the park ever buying a B&M flying coaster.
I don't even know when was the last flying coaster B&M made. I think it was something in Japan.
Vekoma Flyer. I would assume that can't operate in rain either. Isn't that the reason why they built it kind of enclosed at
They don't build those
Because the
anymore.
problem with flying coasters is their mechanics are exposed, right? That's what I heard.
I think El Toro Ryan did a video on that. I don't know too much about flying coasters, to be honest.
Yeah. 2022 says Jake, but yeah, it is getting really easy to rule out a lot of models.
I like what Josh said, CC Mini Kid, about adopting a chaperone policy. That's one thing. At Carowinds now has a permanent chaperone policy.
But so I thought we had got a concrete answer. I know, but didn't we get a concrete answer that Wonderland wasn't ever going to do that?
Wonderland would.
Yeah.
They need to.
They do.
They need to.
They need to get ready for one person showing up at the beginning of the season.
Do you want to sing the rap?
Sing the rap?
Sing the rap.
I can't swear.
Yeah.
Just sing the beginning. Yeah.
I don't even know the words.
No, no, that's so unprofessional. We're better than that now. We're somewhat better than that now. We're trying.
It
But
was
yeah.
Surya.
You have a lot of money to be hiring all those people.
I'm the one funding this project.
Surya actually sponsored this podcast.
It's true.
Can you guys do a meet and greet? Probably. We've
don't-
had
you
bad
don't-
remember-
experiences.
You don't want to meet
my
us at Promise.
I once did a meet and greet, or tried to do a meet and
You're
greet a very
stupid.
long time ago, and they all ran out of line because it got out of hand.
I literally
Someone
ran. I ran.
and I was there like, oh my god.
Brendan, why does Craig look like Justin Bieber? What happened to Justin Bieber?
Do I look like Justin Bieber?
You look like Justin Bieber got hit by a truck.
Like-
No, I'm kidding.
What? I'm so confused.
That's an insult. You kind of do look like Justin Bieber, to be honest, on the camera. The new Justin Bieber, by the way. You should look him up. You kind of do look like him. A little more tanned, but... any last questions? Is the parking thing being updated, like any signs? I don't think anything's happening in the parking lot, but the park, the amount of money you're seeing funneled into the park right now, is it not insane?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like, insane. But... Oh, okay. Someone kept lining up next to you, or behind you at Haunt. I saw you guys at Leesburg. We're there a lot. Sometimes we rope drop.
That's a WinterFest thing, strictly WinterFest.
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure we did it at Haunt.
We probably have done it at Haunt.
But yeah, thanks for joining. It was an emergency stream just because we wanted to correct some information that we learned about the maintenance tunnel, and then kind of just explain what you're seeing on the screen with this tunnel. What? See you next year's podcast.
Yeah,
Sarah.
I was literally just gonna make a joke. I'll see y'all in 8 months. No. Oh, let's calm down.
He's here, is he not?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Am I the only one that ever boosts your confidence? But yeah, okay. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here, Craiga, too.
Yes.
This was the Craiga being here was like, yeah,
We're here.
we're here. But yeah, we're gonna end the stream just so Craiga can go home. And yeah, stay tuned for some pretty cool construction updates. And yeah, we're what, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away from the park possibly teasing a little bit. But yeah. Is that all? Would you guys want to end it? End it. Do it in Craiga form.
And did Krieger.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Thank you, everyone, for the support towards all of us.
You know what, everybody? Everybody, before we leave, comment in the chat. Come back, Surya. Just so we make sure he comes back next week.
Gaslighting!
Let's just get a couple comeback Surias in the chat just so Surya realizes that he is more than wanted. Oh, wow. Look at the chat already.
Oh, I'm gonna start crying.
Lock.
Join the Discord server.
No, don't do that. You don't want to. You don't want to do that. Lock.
Aw.
Look at. You see? How is her name green? How did that even happen?
She pays.
That's awesome. I want a green name. Yeah, look. See you in 2050. That one is the accurate one.
Easy on Surya right now. But yeah. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Take care, guys.
And see you in tomorrow's construction update that was supposed to be posted today and it didn't.
Insider.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Bye.